Hello and welcome to the Alertus Server API documentation troubleshooting video. This is going to be the first in our series on the Alertus Server API, which is a super interesting feature for being able to automatically interface with the Alertus Server using its REST API. So on this video, we're going to be going through checking if it's enabled, how to enable it, and troubleshooting the issues involved with enabling, and then accessing it. I'll give you a quick overview of what we can do in it as well. So first things first, is the REST API enabled? So how we do this is we're going to navigate to our Alertus web console. Here we are. And we're going to go to middleware. For middleware, you'll see that there is this button down here. It says API documentation. If you click on it and you get this screen, it says API documentation disabled at the top. It gives you some instructions on how to enable it. I'm going to show you how we do this right now. So we're going to navigate directly to our Alertus server. So I'm going to go here. So for me, it's installed on the D drive. For you, it's likely the C drive. So it'll be C Alertus. And then here's the setup tool folder. In here, you'll see the Alertus server setup tool.exe. Double click it, command window will pop up. Important note here, if you have an antivirus software running, sometimes it'll give you a little warning or something of a command prompt running in admin mode. And that has messed me up once or twice, so make sure that you have your antivirus software disabled when you're doing this. You'll see that the top row on this package is API documentation. We can go ahead and install this from the Alertus server. So if you have an air-gapped system or are unable to download this from gw.alertus.com, go ahead and contact tech support and they'll be able to get you the file for this and you'll select it manually. For AirCase, however, we're just going to download the package from Alertus. It only takes a couple seconds and there it is. So let's go ahead and go over those steps real fast. Okay, so locate the server tool, which is server setup tool, not to be confused with just the normal setup, which is how you install the server. It should be on this directory, and make sure your antivirus is turned off. Mine was flagged by Avast when I was attempting this. Next, we're going to access the API. Okay. So we're going to find ourselves back at this Alertus middleware page. If you're in console, remember it's just a button up here to click to get to it. Go to API documentation. And in this case, you'll see I've got a failed error. It is saying that I need to have HTTPS enabled. So on your computer, you may have an issue where you're using HTTP instead of HTTPS because you don't have security. Not a problem. Just use HTTPS instead of HTTP and you'll get through. So because my server doesn't have a security, it's saying, hey, there's no certificate here. But if you're using a closed gap or a LAN system where you don't have a security certificate, it's not expected. You can go ahead and accept and continue to be able to get through anyways. You may also get this window that shows up. So to access the Swagger database, which is what the REST API is running on, it's going to ask for some credentials. You're going to use the exact same credentials you use to log into your Alertus server. In my case, on this fresh install, it is the default ones. No judgment, please. An important note here is that you must have admin credentials to get into this. So once I hit OK, we have the Alertus middleware REST API application. Let's go ahead and review those steps real fast. So we go to middleware API documentation. If it's giving you an error about not having the S for secure connection, you can go ahead and just add the S directly into the login bar. Again, this only happens if you don't have your security certificate installed, if you're using like a LAN setup, but it's very easily resolved just by typing this in. And it'll take you to this address right here. If you ask for credentials, use your server login credentials, and you must have admin rights to use this tool. Now, let's take a look at what we can actually do with this tool. So in the Alertus middleware REST application, we have all of these post, get, put, and delete. And these are your standard calls that you'd use for any REST API. What's interesting is that when you click on it, it will give you examples as to the JSON format that you'll want to use to implement these calls. Now, a very important note is this is live on the server. If you post or delete, you are actively changing the data on your Alertus server. So please be cautious when doing this. Go ahead and do a server backup before you test. We'll be going into this in the next video. For this, all we want to know is that once you're on this page, you can expand any of these sections and get more information about all of the methods that you can use the REST API with complete examples as to how to use them. All right, this is the conclusion of our first video. There'll be more in this playlist. Hope that you were able to get to your REST API just fine. If not, feel free to reach out to support at alertus.com, and they will be able to help you out. To access tech support, that is support@alertus.com. See you in the next video.